What's up, goons? It's your boy Jody back again with another match of Legacy lands. Now we're working off the same pretty standard lands list. We got a good win against Miracles last time, and let's get into the next match. And before we get into it, I just want to say, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, hide your kids, hide your wives, but tell your friends where to find us. Okay, well, in a deck with 35 lands, I don't think we can keep a hand with none. So let's go ahead and mulligan. Looks like we're on the draw. We got a Mox Diamond with a gamble, which is going to be good. We get turn one, we go get the Loam. That's pretty good. So we're hoping that we can resolve both cards. We have a red source on top of our deck. I think this is worth keeping on top of our deck since it's a Grove of the Burnwillows, because we'll draw it and then we'll be able to, we can gamble for punch and fire if we feel that that's needed. Turn one volcanic. This deck could be anything. Okay, I'm gonna start with the Mox Diamond. If they counter it, then we can Grove and gamble for the Loam. Okay, now that it resolved, I think we're probably going to pitch this Grove of the Burnwillows. No, I think we're going to pitch the Cycle Land. And then we'll Wasteland our opponent so that they can't Spell Pierce or Daze our gamble, and then go right into gambling for the Life from Loam. Opponent responds with a Brainstorm. And bye-bye land. Here we go for the gamble. Hopefully there's no Force of Will. I'd just like to make a point that we decided to pitch the Tranquil Thicket instead of the Grove or the Canopy because we wanted an untapped mana source to be able to cast Life from Loam on the next turn. And it's a Rug Delver deck. So the Wasteland is going to be really good. The best thing you do is probably Daze here. And then maybe waste our Grove. That would be their best chance of winning. Okay, well now that's not a line for them anymore. So now their best line is going to be to play a Tarmogoyf. So we're going to start off with a Wasteland on a tropical island. Oh, Brainstorm A. So what I'm thinking about in response to this Brainstorm is maybe casting this Crop Rotation, sacking this Grove of the Burnwillows to go get a Tabernacle. And the reason I want to do this here is because if they crack the fetch land and maybe Spell Pierce the Crop Rotation, they won't have the shuffle for the Brainstorm. Knackles out, baby. So now they get to resolve the Brainstorm. And we also have a Tranquil Thicket up. We have the Horizon Canopy to cast a Loam on the next turn. And the Tabernacle is going to put pressure on their mana where they can't deploy any more threats. It's one hell of a magic card. Now, our opponent might stifle here. That's a possibility. Okay, they still have to pay for their mongoose. Instep cycle Tranquil Thicket. We won't dredge here. Won't dredge here either. At this point, I'm just going to play the Karakas, cast the Loam, get back to 3 lands. We're also setting up for a crop rotation for a Thespian stage. Bolt to the face. So opponent has 2 spells left. Gonna draw another card. The goose is loose. If we get to untap with this Wasteland in play, we're gonna be able to crop rotation. That'll be good. Dredge the Loam. Well, we know they have another land in hand, so Wasteland's not really the best. We're at 12. We kind of want to push through the 2020 to beat the goose. We could also spend the turn cycling. I think maybe the best play is just to play the Grove. There's a fetch land. That means they still have that tropical island in hand. But the Wasteland plan is kind of off the table. Should have cycled right there, but I'm not going to dredge the Loam. Exploration's a great draw. Waste his Wasteland, force the action. And it might have been better to play the Canopy before we get this crop rotation, just in case they have Spell Pierce. And it's a Force of Will. Pitching Force of Will. So now we'll play the Canopy. And we'll look to cycle the Tranquil Thicket. So opponent has all lands. I think at this spot we'll go ahead and cycle the thicket. Try and find a stage. Dredge the Loam. There's a Glacial Chasm. That'll save us some time. Dredge another Loam. There's a Barbarian Ring. So from here, I like taking the Chasm, the Thicket, and the Wasteland. Play the Chasm, sack the Karakas. Play the Wasteland. I don't really feel like I want to Wasteland the opponent. Maybe we should have got back a Tabernacle. I guess we could just go ahead and cycle. Dredge the Loam, then cast the Loam. Get back the Thicket, the Taiga. And what's going to be the last land? I guess the Forest. Well, I don't know. We're getting a Taiga, so we probably don't want to do that. Okay, let's see. It's going to be Thicket, Tabernacle, and Taiga. We already played 2 lands. Okay. Okay, right here, I think we're just going to let the Glacial Chasm die to play around Lightning Bolt. Draw for turn. Then we're going to dredge. There's the stage. Stage. Chasm. Forest. Okay, so the question is, can we beat a Bolt or a Stifle no matter what? If we play it a little slower and just play the Chasm, sacking the Wasteland, we can do it that way, but then we were kind of in the same spot, except we don't have the Loam next turn because we have the stage in our hand. If we go stage, Dark Depths, and they stifle the stage that we make main phase, then we will die to the mongoose. If we wait till the next turn by playing the Chasm, sacking the Wasteland, that'll protect us against this. Then we could also play the stage as Wasteland insurance for that that Chasm. But then I don't know that if they sandbag the Wasteland that would be any good for us either. Especially if we're sacking the Wasteland to do it. Because with the only 2 land drops, we can't keep playing the Chasm. But if we make the Chasm now and have the stage for the backup, say our opponent does nothing, we can cycle this Thicket on the end step The 20/20 won't outright kill them, is the real problem, being at 20. But it will be a blocker for the nimble mongoose. Let me think about this for a second. Okay, so I think we're just going to make the 20/20, and then if we do the 20, we can loan back the Barbarian and use the Barbarian to finish them off. So if we're going to go for it, since we have a line to kill them on the following turn, I think this is a good way to go. And we'll make sure we get them in their upkeep. All right, Merit Liege. All right, the opponent's thinning their deck here. Put themselves below 20. And that's game. Okay, in this match, we're not going to board much. We're going to swap a Gamble and a Karakas for a Drop of Honey and a Choke. Drop of Honey is going to be good removal. Choke is going to be great at pinning our opponent on mana. And we just cut the Gamble for the random effect. Don't really need it. Also, the Karakas is the weakest land. Notable leave-ins are the Bojuka Bog, because they have the mongoose to shrink the mongoose. I thought about boarding in the trackers, but there's no way our opponent cuts any lightning bolts because they're sideboard. They don't have much that they can board in. So this card's pretty weak to lightning bolt that otherwise wouldn't do much. So on to game 2. Okay, this opening hand only has one land in it. We are on the draw. It does have multiple forms of acceleration, which is good if they're going to counter it. We have the basic force so that they can't wasteland us. I don't think this hand's really that good with only one land, but if we did draw a land and resolve the Mox, it would not be bad. Although the acceleration is not great without a Loam. So I think we could actually mulligan this hand. Now this hand's a little better. With the Wasteland and the Loam, we do have an engine. And then we have Gamble to go Gamble later. This is a lot better than the last hand. I'm going to put the Grove on the bottom. Turn 1 Delver Secrets. I usually like to start just by wasting our opponent, even though our opponent played a Delver. With no Maze in this hand, I really like wasting to keep him off early Tarmogoyf. Plus, sometimes they keep one land hands. Great, Delver didn't flip. Alright, I'm going to start with the Forest. We can cycle the Forest. Spell Snare. Kept it on top. This might be a Tarmogoyf. So we'll cycle the Thicket, look to cast Loam next turn. We'll go ahead and use this fetch land now while they don't have stifle mana. And I'll discard the Verdant Catacombs. And then on this turn, we know they have a spell snare, so Dredge and Loam's not the best. So I think we'll just take a draw. Start with the gamble. Force Will, pitch and spell snare. Okay. Cycle here. Not gonna dredge. Good draw, exploration. It resolved, and this is 6 damage. We'll play the Wasteland, and then upkeep I will Wasteland the Tropical Island. Or no, the Volcanic Island. Get my islands mixed up here. That forces our opponent to use the mana on their turn. Ouch, go down to 4. And then at this point we will dredge the Loam, try and resolve it. Spell Pierce is the play. Play Glacial Chasm, sack the forest, and then play stage. Ooh, that Pithaniel is pretty strong. Now we need to find a Tabernacle to clear out these threats. What to do? What to do? I think we'll pay for it one time. We'll dredge the Loam. There's the Tabernacle. So now we get the Tabernacle and the Wasteland and the Tranquil Thicket. Tabernacle is going to destroy all their creatures. Oh, Force Will. It's a good one. It's going to be a long grind because if we can't make a 2020, then it's going to come down to us punching fire our opponent. And we are in bolt range, so this is pretty scary. Try it again. Tabernacle, Wasteland, Tranquil Thicket. Stifle will get us, but that's okay. Probably should have got the chasm actually. Alright, dead creatures. Okay, so from here we'll get a Wasteland, a Forest, Tranquil Thicket. Cycle this. We won't dredge. Take a draw. Forest, Manabond. Dredge a Loam. Loam back up the chasm, the grove, the thicket. Got this and this. And then we'll cycle the thicket, dredge the Loam, cast the Loam. For a grove, a wasteland, a Thespian stage. Actually, before we do that, we should play this grove. So, grove, wasteland, Thespian stage. We'll play this, and then we'll move to end step, and we'll put all the lands into play. And with the chasm in play, we will sacrifice this Tabernacle, because it doesn't tap for mana. And from here, we can tap the Ancient Tomb. The cool interaction with Glacial Chasm and Ancient Tomb, we can tap the Ancient Tomb without taking any damage because of the Glacial Chasm, and so we'll start slowly defrosting the Dark Depths. And then we also have to always leave up the Horizon Canopy to where we can't lose our Loam. See, we can only remove one counter here. So upkeep, we're going to lose the chasm. And then we'll dredge. And we'll get back to thicket. What's this other land? Let me see what's going on here. What's above the thicket? Nothing? Okay. Chasm, thicket, Tabernacle. Green. Colorless. Okay. We'll play the chasm, sack the wasteland. Then we'll cycle this. Dredge the Loam. Then we'll Loam back the Ghost Quarter, the Thespian stage, and the Wasteland. Tapping like this. And then we'll play the Ghost Quarter, and then we'll Manabond these lands into play. Now we start removing two counters. having 2 Wastelands guards us against a fetch land. So now he's completely locked out because we're guarding against a fetch land because we can waste the fetch and then waste the red source. I'm gonna gamble for it. He's got a surgical. He got a surgical. Did not have it. Okay, that sacrifices. Great. Draw step. Dredge. Wasteland. Chasm. Tranquil Thicket. Counter. Play the Chasm. Set the stage. Play the Wasteland. And we'll pass the turn. And we won't use the Manabond because we're going to keep the Tranquil Thicket for next turn. That way we can guarantee that we resolve a Loam next turn by keeping the Thicket in our hand. Okay. We also we don't have to worry about leaving up the canopy when we have the Thicket in hand. Dredge the Loam. Going back to Chasm, the Grove, and the Ghost Quarter. Select the stage that's tapped. And pass the turn. I'm hoping they play a fetch land so I can show you exactly how this interaction works. Play a fetch land, they could possibly submerge the 2020 as well as, ooh, it's a Wasteland. Okay, so we'll start by wasting the Wasteland. And that's the match. Wow, that was a pretty interesting match. You don't see much Rugged Delver anymore. More people play the Deathrite Shaman, Grixis versions, so it's kind of a relief to see a Nimble Mongoose across the board. I don't know that that deck is that good because the way Nimble Mongoose lines up with Deathrite Shaman, but whenever you see it, it's good to know what to expect. So with the Rug deck, there's usually not much graveyard interaction, so your Loam is running wild. You also generally want to keep the Manabond in, which is very rare. Usually boarded out a lot against Deathrite Shaman, but since they don't have it, we can take advantage of having a 5th mana accelerant, which is really important in the Delver match, especially. You don't board too much, which was pretty cool, and then it was really interesting that the Pithing Needle locked us out at 2020, so we had to play super tight and move on to our game plan of just locking our opponent out and then guarding as much as we can against top deck Lightning Bolt. And eventually we had them set locked to where they couldn't do anything. Once we had double Wasteland up, they had no option. Their best out was trying to get a Lightning Bolt after we sacked the Chasm, and then if that couldn't happen because we had double waste and then they could never get our Loam, the best thing they could have done was surgical a Glacial Chasm and then or force a will a Loam while trying to line up a fetch land for a bolt. Luckily our opponent didn't have it, and we presented as much pressure as we can as fast as we could by 30 mana. But hey, sometimes you gotta thaw it out naturally. Hope you enjoyed this match, and we'll catch you in the next one. One love, good vibes.